Entitled parent ruins Christmas by stealing my son's Nintendo Switch. It's supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year, but for me and my family, it was ruined by my brother's wife, entitled mother, 34. My wife and I have always had a strained relationship with entitled mother due to her tendency to be controlling and demanding, not just with us but with our entire family. It has caused a lot of tension and discomfort in the past. We had a family Christmas gathering, where we organized a gift exchange for the kids. My 7-year-old son was over the moon when he received a brand new Nintendo Switch as his gift. He was so excited to play it, but entitled mother saw the gift and immediately decided that her child, entitled kid, an 8-year-old, deserved the console more than my son, stating that she couldn't afford to buy such an expensive gift for entitled kid during the holiday season. Entitled mother proceeded to try and take the Nintendo Switch away from my son, right in front of the Christmas tree, even though it was clearly labeled with my son's name. She was insisting and causing a scene, accusing me of being a bad parent, and because she wasn't able to afford to buy such a nice gift for her son, we should give him one instead. Despite the attempts of other family members to reason with her and make her understand that her actions were wrong, she refused to listen and kept trying to take the gift away from my son. My son began crying and screaming, but she didn't care. This all happened in about the space of 2 minutes before entitled mother stormed off screaming about how everyone hates her and she is better off without us. It was a terrible experience, watching my son's excitement turn into disappointment and tears. The entitled behavior of entitled mother not only ruined the gift opening moment but also the entire Christmas gathering for all of us. Family members expressed their disappointment and disapproval of her actions, but she didn't care and it seemed like all that mattered to her was getting what she wanted, no matter the cost. Her actions only served to further damage the already strained relationship between her and our family, proving that her selfish behavior knows no bounds and that she can't even keep her entitlement in check during the holiday season. Our entire family has completely severed ties with her since Christmas, and despite her trying to reach out to apologize, I can't justify having her as a part of our life anymore. Our relationship was never great to begin with, and to me, this was the final straw. My son will always remember this Christmas as the one where his aunt tried to steal his gift. My mom and stepdad think they are entitled to my money. I'm 26 now, living in a big city, but I was born in a town in the middle of Australia known for high crime rates. It once had the highest stabbing rate per capita in the world. I was born into a household where both my parents didn't work and we lived in public housing. When I was 1, my dad got arrested and has basically never left jail since. My brother was born when I was 2, but we don't know the dad. When I was 4, my mom met her soon-to-be husband who had a daughter who was my age. Her mother had cut contact with them. He was pretty rich, so we got to move out of the hood into a nice house. But my stepdad and stepsister hated me and my brother. They would never let us do anything we liked cause it was his money. When I turned 11, my mom got pregnant, and because there were only 3 bedrooms, me and my brother got kicked out. We were forced to live with our uncle who lived in appalling conditions in public housing. He was an alcoholic and a drug dealer. But he always treated us well. We were close with his son who was 3 years older than me. We only saw our mom at Christmas and stepdad refused to let us in the house. When I was 15, uncle got arrested and the house quickly became a crack den. Part of his gang, if you could call them that, starting taking drugs and sleeping on the floor. My cousin, who was 18, got in a bad fight with one of them and had to go to ICU. We asked mom to move back in, but she said stepdad wouldn't want it and that we were big boys who could take care of ourselves. We ended up having to live with my dad's sister who was in an abusive relationship and we slept on her floor. Uncle came back after a few months, but he was a changed man. He had been recruited in jail and now was in a proper gang. When I finished school, I got a good scholarship to a uni in the city. When I came back at the end of my first year, my 16-year-old brother was involved. Mother and stepdad cut me off completely when I turned 18 and my brother when he turned 16. I got a very good job and have since made a serious amount of money. Last year, after a police shooting near my town, the unrest sparked and gang wars have exploded. My uncle got arrested, my cousin was forced to flee, and I brought my brother over to stay with me and am paying for his TAF. After mom and stepdad heard this, they invited us to family Christmas, which was dangerous for my ex-gang brother, but we went cause we thought they wanted us to reconnect. We went and it was nice seeing 15-year-old half-sister for the first time since she was 7. But then they demanded that I help pay for my stepsister's car and house as well as buy my half-sister a car for her 16th birthday. They also had the fucking audacity that I help pay for their retirement house on the beach for $5 million. For all the things we've done for you. Me and my brother left, but mom has been blowing up my phone. Stepdad reckons because he let us live in his house until I was 11 we owe it to him. We're back at my house in the city. Then yesterday just after I posted on AITA, my stepsister showed up demanding that I pay for a new car for her. She has been outside my house all night screaming. Honestly, I think I'm starting to like my dad more, who has spent my life in jail. Entitled mother ruins her daughter's chance at a career. Context: I work in a small-sized company. With the amount of clients increasing, we decided to hire an additional team member at an entry-level position to help us. The mandatory requirement for it is fluency in a specific foreign language. There was this candidate, we'll call her Abby. She graduated from university for a year already, but has no work experience, no internships, and no extracurriculum activities during university. She was, however, quite good academically. During the interview, it is pretty obvious she is a bit sheltered. But out of all the other candidates, she is the most suitable one for our team's current needs. We were worried about her ability to coordinate/communicate within the team and some other social skills, but we figured we'd give her a chance and see, because her language ability is what we're after anyway. Here is where the entitled mother comes in. We called Abby in for a second interview and my supervisor asked our HR to offer her the job. On the phone, when HR mentioned her salary, Abby paused for a moment, then suddenly the entitled mother took over the phone and asked to speak instead. The entitled mother was complaining why our company's salary offer was less than other companies. She complained that her daughter deserves more, that others would give more for her language ability. Do you know what is the standard salary for someone like her? No law firms would offer her this rate, it should be this, this and that. Disclaimer: we're not law firms, we're business consultancy. Our HR told us that the entitled mother sounds like a fake posh, like those entitled mothers who tries hard to brag to other people how rich and successful they are. At the end of the conversation, the entitled mother just said, "Let us think about it, we'll call back next week, my daughter has other places to consider," or something along this line. My supervisor decided to cancel the offer. Honestly, if we actually hire Abby, there could be more problem with her mother in the future. We were all pretty dumbfounded by this interaction, and particularly, this entitled mother. I was a bit bummed out because we were actually quite excited to have Abby in our team. Now, I did not know exactly how much was offered by my supervisor, but my company offers a pretty competitive salary for our location, outside of the major city, with good benefits and a solid raise and bonus policy. I just don't know how much entitled mother was expecting. Her daughter didn't even do that well during the interview. We were very lenient because she has absolutely no experiences and never even mentioned any transferable skills at all. Just one day after the phone conversation, the entitled mother calls our HR back. And guess what the entitled mother said? "Well, you know, your company's offer seems reasonable. We'll accept it." It's not even the daughter that calls back. Me and my colleague is just laughing at this point. Well, our HR said she'll check with my supervisor. My supervisor is just, "Yeah, no, I'm not having it, just no." Talk about sabotaging your daughter's chances. I am quite sympathetic towards Abby. The position would suit her interest on the academic side, and it's even a very good chance for her to learn and grow in joining the workforce in the society. Unbelievably, entitled mother had to interfere and ruin her chances. I doubt other companies, or law firms, would accept Abby, at least not soon. Most employers in the field, that entitled mother seemed to be looking for Abby, are brutal during interviews, even for entry levels. I doubt entitled mother cares though, they are well off looking at the university Abby goes to. Entitled mother steals my entire vegetable garden. We have a not-so-small vegetable garden in the backyard of my family's house. Me and my mom are the gardeners, and we grow a bunch of zucchini, snap peas, herbs, broccoli, carrots, tomatoes, and even grapes, with the occasional other vegetables, radishes, bell peppers, etc. One day I hear something outside my window, which is right above the largest planter box in our garden. I look outside and see two kids from the neighborhood picking vegetables from the planter box. I run out and see the two of them have their arms full of zucchini and carrots and even some tomatoes. I ask what on earth are they doing, and they said we live in the neighborhood. I told them that those are our vegetables, and they can't take them. They just said it's our neighborhood too, we can have them if we want. And they took off before I could stop them, literally vaulting over the small fence that separates our side yard from the neighbors, different neighbors, not the ones that were stealing. A few days later I heard something outside my window again, and I look out and see the kid's mom loading a basket with vegetables from the planter. I again rush out and see that her and her kids are loading baskets with everything they could grab. I watched as the mom grabbed a handful of the chives I had been growing, and ripped them out, roots and all. My mom must have heard me run out, because she came out as well. She yelled, asking what they think they were doing, and the kids just kept picking vegetables, while the mom just turned annoyed. "It's everyone's neighborhood, and we need the food," she said, still picking from the garden, and desecrating my prized chives. My mom told her that if she had just asked, we would have given the some, and even if it is everyone's neighborhood, is our garden. She just huffed and left with her kids, and there wasn't anything we could do. Our garden was damaged beyond repair. Our zucchini plants were torn to bits, and the peas and tomatoes were trampled and shredded, and our grape bush that we had for years was broken at the base, where one of them had stepped on it. There were no fresh vegetables that year, and my mom couldn't make her chocolate chip zucchini bread. A few days later we installed a lock on the backyard fence, and the neighbors came banging on our door, mad that we installed a lock preventing them from getting into our garden. My mom just told them to go away, and if she saw them in our garden again she would call the cops. We thankfully never saw them again, and our garden is happy now, and we managed to bring the grapes back to life. A little while ago, we planted some blueberry bushes in our front yard. Someone keeps stealing them, and half the blueberries are gone each season. We let the kids in the neighborhood eat them, but they only take maybe like 8 to 10 each a day on weekends or during the summer. There are 10 bushes in total, about 100 to 150 blueberries each. I wonder who is taking 500 blueberries every year. We haven't caught them yet, but everyone knows. I'd prefer if you kept my child from playing with foster children. My daycare offered benefits for foster parents and families to use our daycare facilities. In preschool I had twin girls who I personally loved with my whole heart. The girls were in the foster system. Their parents had drug addictions, and when they were found they were starved. When I saw them for the first time they were so tiny and just bones, but always kept smiling. They mostly kept to themselves but slowly started to play with the other kids. One of the girls was playing really well with another boy. They enjoyed the cars and the road carpet we had. They played traffic a lot. I guess the boy had told his mom he made a new friend. The mom asked if she could have the little girl mom contact information for playdates. I reached out to her foster mom and got the info. I do not know what happened after switching contact info, but the next day was horrific. The boy's mom dropped him off and asked to talk with my lead teacher. When the lead teacher came back she looked pale. Apparently the boy's mom was upset her son was playing with a foster child, especially one that came from drug addiction. She said she doesn't want her child around those people and if we could prevent them from playing. Our lead teacher told her we don't prevent children from playing with other children unless they fight a lot. The mom said, so you would prefer if I told my son to beat that little girl in order for you to take action. I think she ended the conversation after that because she didn't want to talk about it anymore. Her son was pulled from facility and it was his last day with us. She told our boss that if she knew our facility was flooded with foster children then she would have never sent her son here. We never got to throw him a goodbye party and he never got to say goodbye to his new friend. The little girl's parents got clean and found a religious community to help them. While I'm not religious, I'm happy they found a place to feel strong. I was nervous to hear they would be going back, but they looked so excited to see their parents. I hope they are doing well and thriving.